Go bene, chat to some, I lost track of time, but I'm here now. Was looking into how interesting the Comics Code Authority was in the United States, and it's so similar to what's going on right now regarding censorship in art. It's eerily similar. But I'll probably make a video about that. We'll release it tomorrow. And so we're going to be talking about other things today. Specifically Disney. Disney is being very naughty. It's getting canceled both by the left and the right for very interesting reasons. The left is saying that Disney is not woke enough because they fired Kimmel. And the right is saying that Disney is too woke because it's trying to make their kids gay. And so we're in a situation, we're in a pickle right now, where both sides want to get Disney canceled, and both sides have no reason to disagree with each other. Like, this is what I love the most. I saw Arch Warhammer basically talking about how the chick that plays the Green Hulk, the female Hulk, apparently, yeah, like, she's got an actress, and there she's like, I want to cancel Disney because, like, they're unacceptable, blah, blah, blah. And Arch is like, you know what? I can get behind that. Yeah, sure, lady. Like, whatever reason you have, I don't care. If you want to cancel Disney, I'm on board. It's to the point where right-wingers don't even need the justification. If they hear the word that cancel Disney, they're, like, the first one to be like, yep. Doesn't matter. If it's a lie, it's a lie. If it's true, it's true. It's like just canceling Disney. This is anyway. I don't think it's going to go anywhere though. Right. So here's the tweet. I found it. She-Hulk star Tatiana Maslany has urged fans to cancel their Disney subscriptions. And you have Arch here saying, the first left-wing position I 1000% stand behind. And people are like, oh, so do you think, like, Disney should be canceled because they banned Jimmy Kimmel? No. No, I think Disney should be canceled. Like, that's it. And by the way, you know, I was wondering why this is. Like, why do so many people hate these companies so much? Because it's not normal, you know? Like, usually if a company puts on a bad product, people just lose interest. But, like, in the case of Disney, there is this underlying seething hatred that people have. And it's weird, because it's a company that used to make cartoons for kids, right? Like, how can you justify hating it? But then when you try to remember what they did, it makes absolute sense. So, the first thing that they did was to take franchises, to take IPs that people grew up with, and remake them, reimagine them. And people didn't like that, you know? Like, people didn't like what was being done. And so Disney called all of these people sexist, misogynists. And it wasn't just a label. Like, it wasn't an insult. Like the culture was that you need to punch a misogynist. You need to assault a misogynist. So, like, in that culture, you know, putting those labels on people that are your fans, trying to get them fired, trying to get them socially ostracized. That's what they were doing. This is where the hatred is coming from. Like, number one, they lied. Because it wasn't like people didn't like Star Wars because they were sexists. Number two, like, they knew the consequence of what happens if you call someone that way. And this is just, like, the icing on the cake. Because, like, they would go out of their way to fire people that were beloved and replace them with people that were hated. Like, for instance, They put Rachel Ziegler there, right? Which everyone hated. Absolutely everyone didn't like her. And they fired Gina Carano, despite the fact that everyone loved Gina Carano, right? So, like, if you criticize Rachel Ziegler, you're a misogynist. If you fire Gina Carano, you're a feminist ally. And then the LGBT pushing, right? Like, incredibly hard, especially in kids' movies and stuff. A lot of LGBT pushing. Going against the Florida legislative. Like you have people in Florida going, it's like, okay, well, maybe we don't need kids in schools to learn the LGBTs. Maybe we need kids in school to learn the ABCs. And Disney took issue with that. And they're like, now we're going to show DeSantis what's what. Like, we're going to use all our money in order to go after DeSantis. And then it's like the diversity hirings as well, right? So like in order to do those, like they have to fire a lot of original people that were there. And then you find out that their parks are filled with rats. Not Mickey Mouse, haha, but like actual rats. And like all of these put together made people absolutely despise this company. And on top of that, they haven't produced anything of value in more than 2 decades. Like, I don't remember the last... I think, like, the last production that Disney had, which I can actually consider it to be good, is Tangled. Right? Like, when did Tangled came out? That was, like, the last movie that I would say, oh, yeah, well, like, that has the magic of Disney. 2011, right? So, like, since 2011... It's almost a decade and a half ago that Disney actually released something to give a reason to people to like them and to be fans. I wouldn't say they're a dead brand though, because they're like still too big, and their brand is very vast because they own Marvel Comics, they own a lot of shit, and so you can't really say that they're a dead brand. But they're definitely not doing very well, and if they keep it up, I mean, eventually they're going to fail. What I think they want to do now, as a desperate attempt to regain some relevance, is to go into anime. Like they wanna get anime on board, and that's actually really bad news for the anime fans, because like if they're going to invest in anime, they're not going to allow anime to just do their thing. Right? They're not going to be like, okay, well, this is something that's working. We don't know why it's working. We're just going to put some money into it so that we can get more of that. No, they're not going to think like that. They're going to be like, we're going to put money into it, but like we want diversity in it. We want it to be woke. We want all of this shit in. You know, stop it with the fan service, blah, blah, blah. Their parks are going to be a big burden once people will get burned. I'm actually curious, like, do people still go into Disneyland? I would have to see the sales. So, like, there's 2 places you can go to Disneyland in the world, right? Like, there's Florida, and then there's France. Now, the reality is I always wanted to go to Disneyland. And I probably will go at some point. It's just, like, to see how it is, because I can't imagine it's that bad. But you got to go to France, right? You got to go to Paris. I've seen the streets of Paris. They look like a fucking war zone. And so, I don't know, like, if it's worth it to spend so much money to go over there, and then you stay in France, and then you go to Disney, and from what I've been told, it's not really that great. Like you get to see trans people acting as some of the characters there. It's like the aesthetics of it. Japan has a Disneyland? There's no fucking way. See, now if Japan has a Disneyland, that I might actually go there. China has a Disneyland? I don't believe that China has it. Holy shit, China has a Disneyland. Oh my goodness, I had no idea. Hold on, let me say. There's no way that China has a Disneyland. Like, I can believe Japan has it, but China? Oh my goodness, they have one, what, in Guangxi? Dude, it's actually pretty fucking cool. Okay, look at this, chat. It's a little bit pixelated, but it is what it is. It's pretty fucking dope. And do you get to see Chinese people if you go to Disneyland China? Huh? Do they speak English? Or do I need ChatGPT to communicate with them? There is a Disneyland in Tokyo and Shanghai. I see. Fun fact, recently the Florida park has had issues with its new update because it keeps raining and filling the rivers of America. Well, I can't blame Disney for that. You know, like, they don't control the weather, so it's fine. But I had no idea that there is a Disneyland China. That's shocking. By the way, have you guys seen the latest Metatron stream? He streamed yesterday about Charlie Kirk. Tell me in the chat who managed to watch it. Nobody? Come on, there must be someone in the chat that watched it. Chat, I'm looking at you. Looking at you. Come on, do something. Nobody saw Mr. Medicare stream? There were like 12,000 people there. Ah, Mikey did. Okay. No, not Metatron. Metokur. Jim, internet aristocrat. He found Jesus. Found it interesting. Right, so like he said that he found Jesus. It was a very emotional stream though. I think it was one of his best. And I think it also may be his last. Like, he sounded really, really bad. People said that it sounded robotic, so... Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully he will stream again. But it was a very powerful stream. How he found Jesus? He didn't really elaborate. I think like when he saw Charlie Kirk getting shot, that's what made him find Jesus. He doesn't know which denomination of Jesus. Like, he's still shopping for the correct one. But yeah, it's true. It's true. He cried on stream. Yes, he cried on stream over the assassination of Charlie Kirk. I wonder like if it's because he feels bad since he actually said bad things about Charlie. And now after he died, he rewatched the content and he realized that maybe he shouldn't have. I hope he streams again too, Strixian. I actually liked him. I've honestly been wrestling with my lack of faith and whether that's realistic. You know, I think this is a personal decision. Like, if some people feel it, they feel it. If they don't feel it, they don't feel it. Whatever makes your life better, man. Like if it actually improves your life by being religious, then be religious. Pretty much nothing of his usual humor left. He was a little bit funny. I mean, the subject matter is also kind of difficult, you know? Like, if it's something that actually emotionally affects you, it's kind of difficult to make jokes about it, so... The current state of things makes me want to go back to church sometimes. Why do people care about the denomination? Isn't it all about being saved by Jesus? Absolutely not. Holy shit. The denomination is incredibly important. I mean, okay, let's look at an Orthodox church, right? An Orthodox church is rooted in ritual and tradition. You're going to go there. The priest is going to have his sermons, mostly sing. You're going to kneel when you're supposed to kneel. You're going to kiss the icons of the saints. You're going to cross yourself. And you're going to give a super chat to the church. And that's it. You don't interact with the priest. And the priest doesn't really talk about current events. Like, he's not going to go into the church and tell you about the Democrats and stuff, right? Like, again, the sermon is mostly the priest chanting. There's a lot of incense. And you kneel, you pray to God. And then you give a super chat. A super chat is like, literally, you put some money and you write your name so, like, the priest will pray to God for you. I'm not kidding. Now, let's compare that with the Protestants. The Protestants, they go to these things called Bible studies. They have no tradition, no ritual. They don't believe in saints. They only believe in the Bible. That's it. It's called sola scriptura. And the pastor, he's going to interpret the Bible through his own point of view. And so, like, he gets to kind of pick and choose on what to lean on. Like he's not saying that, he's not saying that some things aren't true or others are. It's more like he gets to lean on the things that he finds important. And he's always going to bring current events, right? And interpret them through the prism of the Bible. That's a completely different thing than how Orthodox do things, right? Majorly different. Hi, saved last week, and I'm proud to spend. My Polonian friend, Romania and Poland together, A super chat yet for real? No, they do read the super chat. Right, so no, like in the Orthodox faith, you have this thing where you put money in a piece of paper, and you write your name. And the priest actually has to pray for God and reads your name out. Not religion, but grew up Lutheran. So if you're going to go to the Christian route, get off your butt and go to church. None of this internet Christianity. Well, internet Christianity is kind of like evangelicalism, right? Like, in my opinion, as an atheist, I think, like, the purpose of religion is also to create community. So, like, when you go to church, you actually get to meet other Christians, and you get to spend time with them, and you get to talk with them. If you do it from in your house, like televangelism, or you go on some Discord servers and, you're sharing memes with Jesus and stuff, I don't think it's the same. Again, I'm not the one to judge, but, like, looking from a pragmatic, practical point of, like, what religion does to society, I think it creates a bond, and that bond, in order to happen, you actually need to go out and meet other people from the community. This is why Muslims don't tolerate that shit. Like, in Islam, if the guy goes like, Allah Akbar, Allah, you got to get out of your house, and you got to go to the mosque. There's no sitting in there. There's no, like, doing Islam on the television. No. Again, dyslexia. I need to hire someone. Chat. Who wants to teach dyslexia on how to write super chat so they don't get banned by YouTube? Dyslexia, write them through ChatGPT. Like post the stuff that you want to send in ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to write. I'm actually curious if they will pass. Right? Like, this, do this experiment for me. Just post your super chat in ChatGPT and say, how can I phrase this to get past the YouTube censor? I'm actually curious if it will work. But anyway, screw Protestants, moral busybodies. The thing with Protestants, from what I understand, they're really great at making GDP line go up. Their ideology is really great for running a corporation, horrible for running a country. The thing with Protestants is that they don't have context and nuance. Like, for them, if something is bad, it's bad, period. Like, for instance, for them, if you lie once, you're a liar. If you cheat once, you're a cheater. In my opinion, it doesn't work because the reverse would have to be true, right? Like, if you give charity once, you're a charitable person. If you do one good deed once, you're a good person, right? We don't think like that in the Orthodox mindset. Like, we built around context and consistency and severity. So, like, obviously, if you kill once, you're a murderer, right? But, like, if a person steals once, they're not a thief. Like, the language is not like a mathematical equation where it needs to be applied everywhere, right? Like, you need to look at the spirit of the thing rather than the letter of the thing. Like, the letter of the thing, yeah, sure, if you steal once, you're a thief. Okay, but, like, if a person, like, genuinely never steals, and once they stole something insignificant, it's not fair to say that person is a thief. Just like if you have a person that always tells the truth, and one day says a lie, like, that's not a liar. Like, that's an honest person, because you look at the context, you look at the whole thing. So, like, that is kind of absent, and it's good for business, right? Like, it's good for when you run a company, right? Looking at the letter of the thing and applying the law and all that. But when you're applying the stuff for a community, and you're looking that they're completely ignoring what the spirit of something should be, I think that's problematic. No, I'm not rambling, Capsule. You support all Bigfoot plans? You eat what human wants and you're accountable forever. Yeah, as I said, like, it depends on the severity. It depends on, but even then, right? Like, okay, you eat a human once. Let's say that you're on a plane crash and you landed in the Alps. This is a real story, right? And the people there are stranded for 3 weeks. There's no food. They're cold. And let's say they eat the pilot. Would you consider that they're cannibals? Because, like, once they get out of that situation, once they come back in civilization, like, they don't want to eat human meat. They probably regret what they did. They probably find it disgusting. But simply due to survival instinct kicking in, and the idea that they will starve to death unless they do that, they did that anyway, right? And so, I don't think they're cannibals. I think they were desperate people placed in a desperate situation where they had to do whatever they could in order to survive. Now, if they come back and they still eat human meat, then yes, they're cannibals. Anyway, Boog! The Romanian defending stealing. You couldn't help yourself. I need to keep challenging Boog with things like this so he can super chat me more, right? Like, I need to kind of find ways in order for him to point out the obvious. I unironically pray to the 4 chaos gods. Which one? There's no reason why you need to pray to what is it? Corn. Didn't the Catholic Church absolve those guys of any wrongdoing? Yeah. The Catholics did. But like someone in the chat said, oh, so like you eat a human once and you're a cannibal. And I gave an exception where I'm proving that it's about context and nuance rather than absolute rules, right? So this was actually quite common back in the age of sails. Like you would have a ship being pushed off course, or you would have a ship marooning on an island. And so like, yeah, people would end up eating each other. But you kind of understood, like, because like if you were in that situation, right, where you're starving, there's nothing to eat, and your lizard brain takes over, and it's like you need to eat this person or you die. A lot of people could do that decision. I plan to visit Romania one day and visit the Salina Turda salt mine. You should do too, V, for your next vacation. Oh yeah, that's one of the mines that didn't got flooded. There was a massive scandal last year. One of the mines got flooded. Now we're not talking Warhammer. We're talking Disney. Let me see if I can find. See if I can find one of the tweets that were made. Apparently, I was absolutely wrong with Jimmy the Kimmel. The government didn't actually crack down or force them to do anything. He actually did get fired because he not only that he got fired because he had low ratings, but he also got fired because he was going to go there the next day and shit talk manga. And it's like, look, since we're on the subject of Christianity, chat, can you tell me, what do you think made Christianity be this popular? Like why is Christianity, compared to other religions that was fighting with, why did Christianity manage to dominate? Right? Because like, let's see, you have like the pagans in the Roman Empire and they fell. You have the Norse, right? Like the people from the Scandinavian countries, like they believe in the Norse mythology and they fell to Christianity. And it's not like they fell to Christianity because they got dominated or anything. They converted. Well, why do you think that is? No, it's not that. I mean, okay, everyone else being shit, kind of like most of the other, like the pagans and the Norse didn't have a codified law, and so like they allow for different practices and stuff. Which, yeah, like when you have a religion that's codified and it's written down, it's a lot easier to take over. But I don't think that's the main reason. Because it was Buddhism light, no. War and no tolerance for other religion. Yeah, but like that doesn't explain why the Norse didn't manage to win. Because they went through war, right? They weren't very tolerant of other religions. Probably because it's the least violent religion. Yes, that's exactly it, right? Exactly. And redemption is another one. But if you look at the history of Christianity, the martyrs are actually the ones responsible for spreading Christianity. If you come to some Orthodox churches, you will see on some like depictions of the most gruesome and barbaric stuff imaginable. Like people boiled alive, a woman having her tits sewn off, people being decapitated, people being sawn off in half, people being drawn and quartered and dismembered. And you see that on the church walls and you're wondering like, what the fuck is that? And when you ask, they tell you, these are the martyrs. Like those were people that went into hostile places, spreading Christianity, and that's what happened to them, right? Like a woman having her tits sewn off. That just reminded in my memory. But they were martyrs. And so what happens is they were believing very strongly in that thing. And even when killed or dismembered, instead of like making the religion go away, it made it stronger, right? And so this is exactly what's happening with Charlie Kirk right now. Like Charlie Kirk was genuinely a nice Christian. He wasn't like Matt Walsh that tries to impose himself on others. I saw him debate on the Who podcast with a Twitch thought. He wasn't like trying to make her feel bad. He wasn't trying to attack her for what she was doing. He basically just said, you have a lot of talents, and I don't think you're putting your talents to that God gave you to the best use. And that was like it. That was the only thing he said, right? And you're looking at him, and it's so difficult to hate the man, even if you're a leftist or an atheist or anyone else. Like, it's very difficult to hate him. And when you see him getting shot, that's what martyrdom feels like, right? Like it makes you feel, well, if they shot that guy for that, they can shoot anyone. And it unifies people. It brings them together. And so, when someone said that Christianity is a weak religion as a insult, I don't think it's an insult. I think it's its strength. I think like actually Christianity loses its power when it stops being weak, because it's not designed like Islam. Like it doesn't have the warrior ethos and, you know, we need to conquer everyone. But it does have like a very strong martyrdom thing. It does have like a very strong, when you see someone that's being peaceful, kind, and nice, and they get bullied, like there's something primal in human beings that want to defend that person. I did make my point, Capsule. Did you like it? I think it was an excellent point. 25.28 minutes? Shit, I'll try to do it in 23 minutes next time. I need you here to time me. If I don't do it in 23 minutes, you'll have to clock me. But anyway. Deus Vult? Well, take into account most of the Crusades failed. So, like, this whole glorification of Deus Vult is not historically accurate. Because, like, if you send fanatics and zealots to run an army, turns out they don't do a very good job against an organized Islamic empire. Anyway, nails. You think nails made Christianity what it is? Anyway. Yeah, I don't understand why the Muslims are butthurt about the Crusades, given the fact that they won most of them, and other Crusades were directed against France and other Christian nations. So, like, I still am baffled. Alright. We're having a problem, by the way, chat. We're going to notice some technical difficulties on Twitter. You're going to have a lot of people from Pedosky coming over. So, if you're not aware, Pedosky, one of the reasons it's popular is because a lot of artists went to Pedosky. A lot of the leftists, they're not online just to talk about politics, but believe it or not, they're also part of various communities, like Has-Been Hotel, furries, maybe even like anime communities, although with leftists, anime is not that popular because that's the territory of the anime Nazis. But like all these communities are being kept together by the artists. Usually you can't really tell because like an artist posts a picture and you scroll down and there's almost no comments, but if you look at the number of likes, like 2,000 likes, 3,000 likes, and this is despite the fact that the algorithm suppresses the living shit out of these artists, right? And so, you have Grok, which announced that from now on, like anything that you post on Twitter can be used by the AI to teach it how to draw. And a lot of artists got upset, right? And they left. And that's when like a huge chunk of the leftist community migrated to Pedosky. Wasn't like the only thing that caused the migration. Obviously, like there were other people that went for other reasons, but usually once the artists left, a lot of other people left as well. And so now Pedosky is basically saying, we're updating our TOS in order to remove non-consent drawings. Now, this actually sounds reasonable, right? Because like no human being on planet Earth should ever draw non-consent artwork. Like, there is no possible reason. If I was to pay you $1 million and be like, find me a reason why a human being should draw non-consent, you wouldn't be able to, right? There doesn't exist one. Unfortunately, however, the way that they define non-consent is very interesting. Snow White kissing the prince, for instance, is rape culture and non-consent. George R.R. Martin, writing Game of Thrones, is also non-consent. He got a lot of problems from feminists because of his book. And so artists, at the end of the day, they're trying to have a business. Like, it is art and Kumarism for some. It is taxes and a corporation for others. And so it's very difficult to run a business knowing that every single pose that you draw can end up with you having your entire art banned, right? So, like, if you draw someone having sex while drunk, right? Like, you draw a character dripping some wine on her titties, and a man suck and get extremely degenerate, but also non-consent, right? Or dubious consent, like, who knows? Would he have done it if it wasn't for the drink? And so artists don't like that, and they may come back on Xitter. And if they come back on Xitter, they bring all the crazy and the insanity over here. I'm not looking forward to it, chat. I was so happy that the pronoun people have gone away, but it will be funny to watch them get banned. It's actually difficult to get banned on Twitter. But then again, you know, if it's the left, I can't say it's impossible for them. Like, if it's anyone that's not trained into being civilized for the last decade or so, it's probably there in a group. How can a drawing consent? Well, ask Visa and MasterCard. I don't know. But, like, imagine this. You don't know how can a drawing consent. All right. You need to draw them so that they do consent. Because otherwise you get banned and your entire business goes down. Biology is kryptonite for the Redditards. Oh, God. By the way, speaking of blah, 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 banning. I want to make a video about this because this one is interesting. I was thinking last night. Very rarely do I think, but last night was the time for that. And I was wondering, like, why does Twitch ban people? Seriously, like, chat, why does Twitch ban people? I'm actually curious. What do you guys think? What's the purpose, right? Like, why do you think it's happening? The official reason, right? Like, not the unofficial one, but, like, officially. Why do Twitch have to ban people? No, not the ideology. Okay, yeah, no, but, like, officially, what do they say? Because they don't say it's like, yes, we're trying to be ideological. Because they can? I don't know, like, that's bad for business, isn't it? Fear? No. No, the official reason is not to create an echo chamber. Like, at no point did Twitch come out and publicly stated we're banning people to create an echo chamber. Okay, here's what I think. Advertisers. Yes, Harvey knows. Advertisers, right? So, like, Twitch officially bans people because they don't want advertisers to say, yeah, well, we don't want our brand next to that. Okay. They have Hassan Piker, which managed to get into the Wall Street Journal, the New York Times, the New York Post, the Fox News, everywhere. His clips are viral. And he says some of the most fucked up shit. Like, Hassan Piker is like, I want to see their guts coming out of them and spilling into the streets, rivers of blood. Like, he takes, I'm not kidding, he takes guns and threatens viewers. And then, like, I'm going to dox you, I'm going to reveal to the world where you live, motherfucker. You know, and so, despite that, it doesn't seem that brands have an issue. Like, they still put their ads on Twitch. And then you realize, well, okay, well, if that's the case, if they have, like, their logo Hassan, why is someone else like Tectone, why is Tectone getting banned for less? Right? Because it's certainly not the advertisers. And then you realize, oh, so it's because they want to train people. They want to groom their Twitch streamers into leftist propagandists. They want everyone to be Hassan. That's the only explanation that I can think of. Please, someone correct me on this. But I think they are the groomier. They are groomierizing everyone on Twitch to say what Hassan says. Like, watch Hassan and parrot him. Correct me if I'm wrong. Like, Tectone gets banned for making fun of a fat chick. which by all objective means she kind of was fat. Like, I know a fat bitch when I see one. Like, I'm sorry, Twitch, you're trying to gaslight me. Just because you bantek on it doesn't make it false. If she gets on the scale breaks. Are you going to ban the scale as well? It's kind of interesting because Twitch is actually one of the most censorious places on the internet. Compared to all the other live streaming websites, Twitch is the most censorious. Like you get censored on Twitch for stuff that people in your chat says. I wouldn't be able to stream with Capsule or Slixian. I wouldn't be able to have them. I wouldn't get my $2 super chats. Because they would ban me, right? Like, they literally tell you, it's like, you're responsible for your chat. So now I would have to sit with one eye open and constantly read the chat. The ADL has no power on Twitch. I don't know what Twitch is doing there. I know how they keep the Jewish advocacy group away. But, like, the ADL themselves have tried to go after Hassan. They couldn't. Even the mighty ADL has been crushed by this entity of Jeff Bezos. I don't fucking know how they're doing it. Again, like, I think that Hassan is the vizier of the desert who's got, like, the magical jewel from the jinn protecting him from cancel culture. Like, that's the only explanation. Even Elon Musk, who managed to call Jeff Bezos himself. Jeff Bezos never gets dragged down into this shit. But, like, Elon Musk, well, you know what? I'm going to call Jeff Bezos. I think he did. And Hassan is still there. Hassan is there because Jesus Christ wants him there. There is no other explanation. I'm starting to believe in Islam. Like, the only way that a person can be on Twitch and speak like Hassan is only with divine intervention. Like, there is no other possibility. See? So, now I'm starting to think about converting to Islam. Allah may be true if Hassan Piker is on top of Twitch. Please find me a different rational explanation and I will stop my conversion. But, like, right now, I'm on a journey. I'm going to start reading the Quran tomorrow. I'm not kidding. Isn't it fascinating? Like, isn't it Allah's will, Muhammad, blessed be thy name, for putting Hassan Piker at the top of Twitch and literally nothing can put him down. Nothing in the world can put him down. There have been cancel culture by the right, by the ADL, by Fox News, by the left. Fucking Elon Musk himself called Jeff Bezos. He is still fucking there. Inshallah. Hassan is dead, bad walking. He's not dead. He's the most lively person on earth. What about the creepy CEO of Twitch who has a crush on Hassan? Well, what about them? I don't know. Like any other platform, you know, nepotism can only take you that far. He might have backing from someone powerful. But yeah, I mean, Allah is powerful, right? He's the most powerful. The only explanation is that Allah is backing Hassan Piker. No mortal, no human being on earth right now would be able to have Hassan's back based on the level of shit that he says live on air. Benjamin Netanyahu himself, if Benjamin Netanyahu went on cameras tomorrow and asked for the banning of Hassan Piker and insinuated something, Holocaust, whatever, he would not get banned. I'm telling you, chat, he is not getting banned. I don't know what would take. Like, maybe a unanimous decision from the United Nations. Maybe, like, that is probably the only thing. Like, if the entire earth agrees, if the entire leaders of every single nation comes together, brings their diplomats at one place, and they all agree, yes, like, we need to get rid of Hassan Piker, maybe then. The Saudis back Hassan? I don't think so. Do the Saudis really care about, what, like Palestine? No, I don't know. Hassan is a dedicated target to discredit a meme complex, just like Tate. He's allowed to remain on to make people hate what he supports. Do you honestly think that there's like this coordinated plan? Like, do you think like people at Twitch go and it's like, hey, we need to prop someone up that everyone hates? We need to make someone into a meme. I don't think it's like that. I think it's way too complex. I seen the people that work at Twitch. They're not capable of making more than a two-step plan. These aren't grandmaster chess players, okay? Anyway, it could be that Hassan and Destiny are meant to be the cultural jammers. Well, yeah, but like, Destiny is not on Twitch. He actually got banned from Twitch. Which just proves my point. Like, if that was the case, like, Destiny would have been on Twitch as well. No, he got banned. The regime says, okay, if you want to be sociopathic, here's the acceptable way. Nah, I don't think so. I just don't think so. I don't know what they're doing. I really wish Hassan would teach me. I'm not even joking. Like, I would want to be a Hassan disciple and learn how to be as edgy as he is, to say the shit that he does and get away with it. Let me actually see if I can find some of the stuff that he said. I believe in Conan Barbarian words. What is best for a man? Hold on. Let's actually see what Hassan says. Hassan awful compilation. I'll have to make it for a video. But it seems that YouTube are hiding that, because like you'd think that these words that he says, these compilations would actually be on top of the search result, unless he's saying them and the people that are quoting him are getting banned. Because like seriously, like he actually said that he wants to see people's guts being spilled on the street and see their intestines coming out, and it's like, what the fuck? Like, what Twitch streamer does that? And then he shoots himself. He poses himself with an airsoft. He poses himself with a gun, and people say, "Oh well, it was an airsoft gun." Like, first of all, how do you know? And secondly, even if it was, that's against live stream regulations. Like, if it looks close enough to a gun, it's a gun, even if it's a prop. Twitch is very specific about that. Anyway, I should have been rebelled and become a good socialist and be rich. To be honest, I think like if I was a socialist, like if I was towing the actual line, knowing what I know, I would probably be quite popular on Twitch. Like if I got on the bandwagon when I was supposed to, like all I had to do was to betray Sargon, you know, go to Vosh. Like that was the way to get accepted. You'd go to Vosh, you'd confess your crimes. You tell Vosh, oh, I was a Nazi, and now I changed my mind, Vosh, right? So you get through, like, the baptism. And once you go through the redemption, you start making a couple of, like, leftist videos. And after that, you go on Twitch, and you promote, you put your pronouns in the bio. And you start, you know, just looking at what Vosh and Hassan are saying, and you parrot that. And you're like, Black Lives Matter, and oh yes, like, look what's doing, like, the cops, horrible, how can the cops do this, blah, blah, blah. And I gotta teach you, I would have had like 2,000 people watching, hands down. Yeah, you would hate me, you wouldn't watch me, but I would have like 2,000 other people replacing you, right? So, if I was to make money, like, that was the way, especially since you'd get sponsorships. And you'd also be able to be more edgy, like a lot of other stuff that normally would get you banned would be allowed. Oh, did you notice the 4chan clog the toilet operation? So apparently there were like right now, Indians, from what I understand, have to go back into the United States within 48 hours, or else they risk losing their H-1B visa. And so like 4chan is making reservation on planes, like hundreds of seats, to prevent Indians from going back into the United States. And they call it Operation Clog the Toilets. I don't think it's legal. You can probably get into a lot of trouble for doing it, but yeah. You don't think I could make it out as a purity test? Of course I could. Dude, like, are you insane? Like, I know leftism inside out. I know exactly what to say. I can probably even make more convincing arguments than they did. Yeah, the whole H-1B visa thing, like, it's so easy to understand. I don't know, like, why everyone isn't against it. But, like, let's take it normally. How much is a med school university in the US? Let's see how much it costs. Let me just figure out. So, how much does it cost to finish med school in the US? Okay, so we got around, Jesus fucking Christ, holy shit. Around 300,000 to $500,000, right? Based on the region. So if you want to be a doctor in the United States, you gotta spend 300,000 to 500,000 or more. How much does it cost to become a doctor in India? Okay, so to become a doctor in India, okay, so to become a doctor in India, it can cost around $36,000. All right, so $36,000 in a private deemed college. So like, this is the creme de la creme. But if you want like a mediocre one, you can go to a government college, and it costs you $3,600. $3,600, right? To go through med school and become a doctor. And meanwhile, an American has to spend around $500,000 to become a doctor. Why is the American who makes $500,000 having to compete with people that finished the university for $3,600? Because like, that's another thing. The leftists say, oh, so like you're scared that other people can do the job better. No. Because like, when the company hires, they don't just hire who can make the job better. A company can also hire who can make the job good enough, and let's see who can make it the cheapest. And when a person has to pay $500,000 in order to pay for their university studies, and then they have to compete with someone that has $3,600 to pay, how is that fair? How is that free market? Kabat, don't say you're sad you have to go back to work tomorrow, because now you're making me sad as well. India is cheap, but I don't think... Okay. So you say you don't count their medical degrees. Canada does, though. Like, they passed the legislation. But how much is for an Indian who finished med school to come to the US and then take all the necessary exams to be a licensed doctor? Ooh, they have to spend between $20,000 to $30,000. Ooh, yeah, okay. So we're going to add the extra. Okay, you know what? I'll go with the highest. Let's say they got the government college, right? And they have like $12,000 spent for the government college. $12,000 plus the $30,000 that it takes to take the STEP exam and all the other exams in order to be a licensed American doctor. That's around, I think, like $40,000 or so, right? Compared to $500,000 that an American has to pay. Give me a fucking break, man. Nowhere near close. Canada passed a law. Did they? Let me check. Did Canada pass a law to allow Indian universities to be considered accredited for doctors? Not exactly a single Canadian law, but yes, there has been a change that moved things in the direction that you asked. Indian medical graduates are now better positioned under new accreditation recognitions, but it's nuanced. So, September 2023, you have the WFME recognition status for 10 years, blah, blah, blah. So yeah, India now has WFME accreditation through NMC, which helps Indian graduates be eligible under many international systems, including parts of Canada that require that form of accreditation. It is not yet a law, but it does give all Indian medical graduates an automatic license in Canada. They still have to fulfill Canadian license requirements, which often include exams, verifications, sometimes additional training or assessments. Right, so like the direction is to that place. Like they genuinely want like an Indian who goes to India, right? Now the reason I'm bitching about it, because it obviously doesn't affect me, you know, I'm not like some Ian Miles Chung here, but I'm in a country that suffers from this shit, and it pisses me off, and I'll tell you why. In my country, right, we all have to pay for public education, and we all have to pay for public medicine. So basically, I'm going to pay for the next generation of doctors. And I'm paying a lot, by the way. I'm not paying a little. Anyway, when you graduate from Romania, you can stay in Romania and have like a job for 2,000 euros. Or you can take a plane ticket that's like $300 and go to Germany or go to France or go to Spain. And you can get a wage of 5,000, 6,000 euros or more. And so I ask you, what Romanian is retarded enough to stay in the country? So what this means is like I'm literally paying for other nations' doctors. And when I need healthcare, I get like what's left. How is it fair? Why is this happening? And the other nation's doctors, the German doctor that actually goes to his university and has to pay a fortune, he's now competing with people from Romania, if he's lucky. Because apparently, you know, Romania is now starting to do a little bit better. So like people are starting to wonder, maybe I shouldn't go there. So now people from Germany are going to start competing with the whole fucking international world if this system keeps being pushed. It's annoying for the countries that lose their doctors. It's annoying for the doctors from the countries that quote-unquote gain doctors. Anyway, one Indian in HR equals an entire company of Indians? Well, yeah, because here's the thing. You have a nation in the United States that honestly spends money on a monthly basis, like tens of millions of dollars, to get people to stop thinking about race, to stop thinking in tribalist cultures. And you also have like the Protestant mindset, right? And the Protestant mindset is that when the kid grows up, he needs to fuck off from the house, right? Like you as a grown adult, you mature when you have your own place and you live by yourself, right? That's the Western value. Nothing wrong with it. I actually prefer it. What is the Indian value? The Indian value is that if you leave your family, it's actually disrespectful. Like it's actually a bad thing to leave your community. Like they view it as abandoning the family. People in India don't live like we do. They live like 7, 8 people in the same household. So like they will have their grandparents. They will have like sometimes 2 brothers living under the same roof with the cousins and shit. And their wives, and they live together like that. They're a collectivist nation. They're thought to think about people in tribes, in groups. They're not about individuality and going yourself against the world, right? And so you take a person from that culture and you put it in an American company, he's not going to like automatically shift his entire life view. Sure, you know, like he knows how to do IT or he may know how to be a doctor, but his values are still the ones that he grew up with. And he grew up with the values that you need to put your family and your kind above anyone else. It's not a bad thing, right? Like normally in a society, if everyone does that, it's fine because everyone has an advantage. But when you have a group of people that are trained to do the exact opposite, and you meet a group of people that do the anathema of that, well, you end up with, yeah, as you said, like you have in HR, you have a single person that's Indian, and then you have the entire company. Here's an example. Americans are trained and have been trained for the last 2 decades to really hate their nation. America is systemically racist, America is systemically sexist, America is systemically this, systemically that, they're bad. Look at their military, look at what they're doing. And so you have Americans going on Red Note, a Chinese app, for the first time, right? Like they go on Red Note. And they meet Chinese people. And the Chinese people are trained in patriotism, right? They're aware of the Tiananmen Square, but like their government tries to convince them that China is the best. You know, it's one of the most ancient civilizations in the world. It's the Middle Kingdom. Look how rich our history is. Look how great our city is, right? What do you think happens when an American that's completely demoralized ends up meeting a Chinese person that's constantly being propagandized to love his country? Who do you think is going to win that debate? A lot of Americans thought that China is the great nation on earth, like from what I saw in the comments. That's what happens, right? And it's the same thing, like if you mix cultures, at least give your culture a fighting chance, you know, like at least push the ideology to make your culture be able to stand up for itself. Right now, like at the smallest amount of push, at the smallest amount of bullying from any other culture, America collapses. Like it's not trained to handle diversity. If it teaches its people that it's a bad nation, that it's systemically this, systemically that. Yeah, it's called the Red Note. Red Note was from the Little Red Book that Mao had, right? Mao wrote the Little Red Book. Middle class Americans meet upper middle class Chinese. Wow, what the fuck? China is awesome. Well, it's also like the propaganda, right? Because like they were constantly told that China is a shit place, which it is in a lot of provinces. But like so is America, right? Like America has its Detroit, America has its San Francisco. Like it does have its shitty places. But like, yeah, if you think that China is awful, like this evil nation that violates human rights on a daily basis, you may be surprised when you actually meet an upper class Chinese person that doesn't do well, and he's got a family and he's happy and he wants to show you his cat, which literally was what Red Note did. Like you'd have like Chinese people, like the thing that the Americans were baffled is that they go on Red Note and no one was arguing. Like it was actually harmonious. And the Chinese people weren't nasty to the Americans. They were generally welcoming. And they would be like, hey, can you show me your cat? Like, we have a cat. And it was like literally just a Chinese family sitting together. And it's like, oh, we're talking to an American. Like, here's a cat. Show me yours. It was like things like that that baffled them. And then they started talking about healthcare. And then they started talking about crime. And the Americans got BTFO. The only one that didn't get BTFO'd was Nick Fuentes. He went there to talk about the Jews. And he noticed that he can talk about the Jews as much as he wants and doesn't get banned. And after a while, it became boring for him because it's like, it wasn't fun, you know? Like, if you can talk about it and not get banned, what's the point? There were actually Uyghurs on Red Note. Like, that's the other thing. I think the Uger persecution kind of stopped. It did have, like, its peaks. But now I think they solved the problem, so they moved on. They're persecuting other people now. How does India have a multi-century head start on above European civilization, but are 200 years behind European sanitation? Oh, they just have more people. Right? Like, if people die, just have more. At the end of the day, you know, you can say whatever you want, but the birth rates are there. Like, if things continue, you're not going to be laughing when there's, like, going to be no Europeans, but Indians are still going to be there. So, you know, judge them all you want, but, like, their civilization strategy works. Like, as long as you have kids, right, and you can produce another generation, well, you're winning. Like, I'm sorry, it doesn't matter what culture you have. It doesn't. You don't get the culture that doesn't have kids to lecture you about it. We had basic sanitation in medieval times. The problem with India, and this is what I understand, it's not like they don't have bathrooms. It's a cultural thing to shit outside. I don't know why. But they want to shit outside. Like, it's relaxing. It's what they do. They actually find the idea of shitting inside as being unsanitary. And so, no, I'm not kidding. Like, I actually looked into this. Like, there were organizations that tried to convince them and, like, install toilets in the house. They don't wanna. Obviously, not all Indians. Like, there are Indians that aren't doing that. But, like, most of them, they don't shit outside because they don't have a toilet or they don't know how to shit inside. It's tradition and cultural. It is what it is. India's birth rate is failing as women gain rights. If they don't have, like, women can have rights as long as you don't have welfare state. The moment you have a welfare state, you don't fuck it up. Have you ever pooped outside? It's magical. I have never once in my entire life pooped outside. Well, actually, Europeans pooped outside during, like, we had PVs, right? But, like, again, it was a PV, like, you dig, you or an outhouse, like, you dig a hole in the ground and you do it there, like, bloop. Anyway, right, is throwing cow poop a tradition as well? Yes. Yes, it is. The Europeans used to ban their traditions that were equally retarded. Like, for instance, Spain has a tradition. It's not about cow poop, but, They unleash bulls on the street, and you have, like, crowds of people running away from the bulls, and if the bull catches you, you're getting mauled, right? Like Europeans used to have, like, similar traditions, but, like, recently we kind of dropped most of them. Nightmare, member for 4 months. As an American of Indian descent, I am proud to say that I am terrified to poo anywhere but the loo. Yeah, it is what it is. I don't know why it happens, but it was a rich Indian who was stabbed by a homeless man 25 times for offering to pay the water closet. Oh my god. Yeah, pee outside is okay. Like, even in European culture, you go to a bar in a dark alley and you see people peeing. So, like, that's at least more acceptable. Let me think what retarded traditions Europeans had. Human zoos, but, like, okay, maybe those don't count, right? Shoestroming. Shoestroming, like, there is, like, the most vile type of canned food that exists in Scandinavia. Apparently, the smell of rotten fish is so fucking bad that when you open it, like, people just start puking. Anyway, right, I'm going to have to end it here, chat. I appreciate the super chats, and I appreciate the viewership, but, I do need to go and make videos for my other channel. So, thank you for watching so much, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.